for episode 2 in a row. We're only, I think, one or two away from actually breaking our streak record. So here we go.
I think we just tied.
What's that?
I think we just tied.
I was
Yeah,
just going to say, the
yeah.
bar is pretty low.
I know. But it's a lot harder to disappoint then. So we are back with another episode of Barbells and Bourbon. We are calling this our New Year's edition. We are just going to talk about general goals, not necessarily pertaining to the podcast, because we know how that's worked out in years past. But just in general, a few other things I'm sure will come up along the way, but we'll get started. But as always, and first, we go around and rate what everybody is drinking. And AJ, I got a sneaky suspicion it's probably the same thing that you were drinking the last time.
Yeah, I was just looking at them. I was like, I keep them in the back of the corner of the fridge for these special occasions. Although I'm going to have to go on a Duluth run to restock.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Bent Paddle Brewing. Well, the blur's on, you can't see.
With that Vikings.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's a poor choice today. It's kind of a rough night for them.
I mean, the Packers lost to the Bears.
Whoa, calm down.
Yeah, that's true.
So it was a rough weekend for Midwest sports, the upper ones. Andy, what are you drinking?
Accordingly, I have a fine, very high-end bottle of Jim Beam.
Nice.
And I'll give it every star I need to get through a Packers loss to the fucking Bears.
I'm not gonna lie, Jim Beam has grown on me. I'm more than happy to have some Jim Beam. I have Bondstone Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey Double Oak.
Of course, Joel has like the only decent.
Yeah.
I got it as a Christmas gift. We do a gift exchange on my wife's side, and people ask what they can get me, and I say an Amazon gift card and a bottle of booze. And so this was what I got. It is 45% ABV, but solid, good. I think it was in the $40-ish range, if I can recall, but solid. I think I mentioned on the last one, we have a Total Wine now in Rochester, so we're like a grown-up city, which has been really good for bourbon looking and outlooks. And I have a father-in-law that gets curious from time to time, so I tend to reap the benefits of that. So yeah. Well, starting off, who would like to start off on goals for 2025, or what they're trying to do or make happen or change? Or
I feel like it's always going to be me.
Let's go for it.
Because you guys are in careers and I just graduated. It's a good question. It's not a question I haven't thought about. Obviously, it's what I think about 24/7. But maybe if we have 5 listeners, one of them might connect with the idea that I don't really know at this point. So I've done well in that I've positioned myself. I have a job currently with a industry partner that pays well, it treats me well, and there are advancement opportunities. But the current day and age, even though it's less than probably when you went through your PhD, AJ, the current day and age still kind of like pushes people to faculty positions at academia, where maybe it's a good fit, maybe it's not, but that's kind of the default direction that they give students. So while I have this position secured already that can sustain kind of income for the year, my goal is to try to learn whether delving into this position, which includes a lot of new skills that I don't have now, which would be a lot of programming. So Python and SQL are going to be a good fit, which early indications kind of suits my personality quite a bit. And the expansion opportunities in terms of salary are much higher. Just basically determining whether that infrastructure, whether that grind, like it would be equivalent to like a soft money institution, whether that's what I want to do, or whether I want to settle down and develop a research line, have students, etc. But the biggest thing is just make progress and digging myself out of PhD debt, and try to officially learn how to do the work-life balance thing. I guess that's apparently a thing people can do. And now that I'm not a student, hopefully I can learn how to do that too.
I found for me with the work-life balance thing, yeah, I actually kind of wondered when I was going from the UWL, like there 6, 7 days a week, always something going on, always emails, everything like that. It did not take me long to sit there and be like, you know what? I'm okay. I don't have anything this weekend and I can go do whatever I want and not have to think about it. Or, like we were just talking offline, some of the side projects, which I'm notoriously good and bad about having, it opens up times to do things.
Where are you notoriously bad about any of that?
Because I have too many is probably the bad part.
Okay, so Kelly says you're bad about it. None of us
do. But I think you'll find a balance. You'll like you said, you kind of find that other thing that grabs your attention that you can have some fun with and whatnot, and then that it's not work, it's just enjoyment.
Well, devil's advocate, I would argue you in particular are much more apt to like overstrain yourself in terms of workload if it were to benefit me, AJ, Kyle, Doc, etc. And that's all I know right now, right? Like I'm just a student who's no longer a student, and now I'm just a colleague, and I'm trying to learn how to interact as a colleague versus a student. And so it's not even that I would argue either of us don't enjoy being overworked on behalf of our confidants. But for me, it's trying to learn how to not be overworked for the transient individuals in my life or the transient colleagues.
Sure.
Trying to contextualize the people who are going to be around, but they're not. I don't know, like the hip young kids would say, they're not my boys or my gals. Trying to figure out how to draw that line with people who don't deserve that time. And I think you're equally as bad as either of us are at that.
It's fair. Fair.
Do you want to go next?
Yeah, there's only one of us left.
Yeah, I'm so bad at New Year's resolutions and goals and stuff. I just never really sit down and map them out. It's almost because it's like with kids, you got to just be ready to roll with whatever direction they're going to pull you. And so it's like right now, it's all we do is basketball. And so next sport comes, that's kind of where we go next with anything outside of work related stuff. So it's hard to know what time or bandwidth I'll have available, just depending on what kinds of activities they're going to sign up for or not sign up for. It seems like work wise, I'd say, God, if I could do what I did last year, I'd be a happy camper. I don't really see the need to go much more above, but at least kind of hold the floor where it was, or just got to do what I did last year. Again, it was a pretty good year work wise. So,
are you training for track again this spring?
See, that's the thing. Like, I don't know how open I'll have for doing meets. It depends on how much softball they want to do, because that's when all the summer meets are and stuff. So, if we got them open, I will. I'd definitely crank it up again and go for it. I saw they have an indoor meet in Kenosha, but we got a basketball tournament that weekend. Otherwise, I'd maybe scoot over and do that one.
Nice.
Wags asked if I was going to do the alumni meet with UWL track in a week and a half, and I was like, I don't know if I'll make it over for that one either.
Here's a fun thing, given I think Joel's felt it more than all of us. I don't want to say that, but given the discrepancy and progression in where each of us are at in our career, aka given differences in age, I literally just contextualized something you were talking about, AJ. Is like one of my favorite things down here is that I am starkly a part of Nick's kids' lives. I'm starkly a part of other faculty's kids' lives. And I can always plan on going over there and having family away from family. So I think I just discovered what my New Year's goal is, which is maybe at near the end of the year, getting back towards the Cooley region, even if I don't have a position that necessitates it. If I can continue to be remote, make a living that satisfies, like pays the bills, and I can be more of a part of our, however you want to call it, I would say more of a clinically pressed family, being you guys in Rochester, you guys in Holman, Jake, Kyle, Erica. I've been longing for being a part of that community for a long time. And so I think that might be my goal for the year.
Sounds like a good one to me.
I like that goal.
I feel like Kyle's probably in the same spot. Like that guy just seems like he's probably going from one sport to the next nonstop with their crew.
He's got to make up for the fact that his wife dropped me on the floor. So,
AJ, have you gotten out to their new spot?
No, we drove through West Salem on our way back from Black River Falls the other day, and I was just thinking, like, I got to go over and find. I don't even know where it is in town.
It's just down like the highway, like you're heading out to
like towards Neshanic area on 16.
No, so there's a stoplight that was like right if you come up 16, there's a stoplight with the quick trip on the right hand side. If you
Yeah.
take a right and head east, you basically run into it before you go underneath the interstate. So you can see it from the interstate.
Oh, okay.
so head to Doc's unc's place.
Like you're heading to Doc's unc's place, yeah, but it's right before the
Yeah.
interstate. And it's an
Okay,
old
yeah.
mill that they did in machine shop, and they turned one part into a fitness area, which is awesome, where they hold like Erica held a course, and then the other one is like clinic in the front, some like event space, and then the birthing center in the back, and it's gorgeous. They did an amazing job.
Dude, there's nothing that family can. There's nothing that family can touch. That's not amazing.
Yeah.
I know it is pretty cool. Yeah, I know he was busy with that. And
on my behalf, I hope they never watch this. that family is exactly not even what I could hope to do. They like the whatever.
They're good people.
Yeah, they're all right.
Drop large power lifters on the floor during an adjustment.
Yeah, it's only Erica. I feel like we should call her.
I bet you she'd come on to one of these.
Oh yeah, she definitely would.
We'll get her and Kyle on one.
It'd probably be easier to do it one at a time, knowing the other one's got to be holding down the fort.
Right.
I want to hear about the state championship bass fishing.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Their oldest boy? Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
God damn it, I feel like a piece of shit now. What's the oldest boy's name?
Aaron?
Taryn, yeah.
Yeah, Taryn. Yep.
Long hair.
Yep.
Mhm.
Baseball player.
Yeah. He's a stud fish boy.
There you go.
Anyways, yeah. So I don't know. I guess inherently, I've had a lot of shit to contextualize. a really, really, really rough 2024. And it's hard to remember sometimes that you have people that give a shit about you. And I think my 2025 goal is to get closer to the people that I know give a shit about me. Yeah.
I think that's a good one.
And to watch Ellie De La Cruz with the Reds.
About all there is to watch.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Maybe a teaser, but we might have the director of sports science for the Cincinnati Reds on this podcast here in a couple weeks, depending on if he's strong enough to handle it.
Boy, that'd be a reputation to get.
I really want Chapman on here, Ed. That would be so interesting. But the point being, not to be so randomly diverse, this podcast is going to change quite a bit. And we're going to be more frequent. We're going to have a lot of interesting guests, unlike us three schmucks. As long as you guys have had the patience for the past 4.5 years to watch 5 of our podcasts.
I believe this is episode number 9.
Not
and a couple of them actually have done okay.
I mean, I think why podcasts work is they're for us more than they are for anyone else.
For sure.
Yeah. And I think our conversations with some really interesting people could be valuable for a lot of people. So I think it could work out that way. In it probably won't, given the probability, but that doesn't bother me at all. It gives us an excuse to get together at 8 o'clock on Sunday.
Exactly.
Damn people with kids. Do we have other ideas?
For what?
Trying to steal other people's time tonight?
One thing I brought up, so my wife always, what's our goals for 2024? And I'm like, AJ, I don't know that. I kind of put them in my head, but I don't necessarily ever write them down, which may be part of the problem.
Ooh, that would be a fun thing. Finish, but I have a proposition afterwards.
Oh, we lost AJ. Well, I'm going to tell you about it. There's back. I can't remember where I heard it. It was on a podcast. I know that much. But they were talking about New Year's resolutions and just the essentially getting started. And they had found in some social science research that it's not the reasons that they're so effective is it's like a starting point. And one of the things that they wanted to iterate is it doesn't have to be the new year. It could be a birthday. It could be the first of the month. It could be a Monday.
Yeah.
When they hold,
when you decide to make a change.
Yeah, when that date kind of holds some, I don't know, clout, if you will, as a starting point, it can be what you need to just get going. And so ultimately for me, as I was thinking about, goals, one of them is to just do the things that I know I haven't done because I've just wanted to avoid them in the past. Like it's the things you want to avoid that probably will make the biggest impact, or just the things that if I just did this, then I wouldn't have to stress about it. And like kind of using those like intermittent things as like, here's my reason to jump off and get this done, and not wait for whatever it may be. And so, as we've talked about, overarching company, clinically pressed on this stuff of like things we want to get done in 2025. Well, instead of just sitting there and constantly talking about them, like actually start the thing and get it going to really get it done with a lot of that. So that for me, that was the big thing that I always try and keep in mind, that the new year is obviously the big one for everybody. but just because you fall off your New Year's resolution or whatever it is, and however long it might take you to fall off, you can get it started because the 1st of February is coming up, or hey, in a week, it's Monday again. That's as good a time as any to start it up, and just really focusing on that to keep driving whatever it is forward is something that I'm trying to keep in mind. It's early in the year, obviously, but trying to keep that in mind and seeing where that'll take the year for me.
I agree 100%. If you couldn't tell that I was vibrating to not interrupt you. All right, boys. So it sounds like we had a good conversation. We have a good grasp, but we don't have a goal for tonight. And I'm going to set one for today is Jan 6th. By January 10th, all you need, envelope. Oh shit, let me unblur. I don't know how to do that on here. Envelope, message, stamp. You're gonna have to write it twice. What I'm gonna propose is I'm gonna write my goals for 25 and send it to both of you. So 2 stamps. And I propose you guys do the same. And then none of us open them until later in the year. Fun exercise or dog shit exercise?
I'm for it. I did something similar to that one time. It was like things that would change, and you gave it to the person instructing it, and then they sent it back to you. Essentially, what you're saying, in like 6 months or something like that, and be like, "Did you actually get these things done?" And it was
So
that
we can
focus.
touch base like September, set when we do our monthly podcast, because we're gonna do it. Obviously, we've never not done it.
Right.
Maybe have a 3-part individual podcast where we open each other's letters and comment on the goals, and then send feedback, and then at like October, I guess, would be we all reconcile that feedback.
Works for me.
Okay, so off air, we'll figure out the specifics, but off air, we'll share addresses and share stipulations, or even send to a third party like Jake and be like, "Hey, hold this," and then we have an end of the year combined podcast.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Any excuse to get together.
I don't know. I just have a lot of stamps, so
I see that.
but long story short, none of us know what the heck is going to happen this year. But as always, I'll speak for myself. I'm stoked to go through it with you boys, and I'm blessed to know you. And Happy New Year to you and Kelly, to you and Vanessa, to you and the boys, to you and the gals.
Yeah, I think rounding out biggest goal is, as we've kind of said on this, and we joke about it as we should because we've been terrible about it.
Stay in touch.
I mean, it sounds so simple, but it always seems to not to be, because the things come up and whatnot, and continuing to make sure that we're doing that and encouraging people beyond. And I think about it all the time, just back to a lot of the students I had, and man, who should I reach out to because I haven't heard from them in a while. And yeah, they haven't reached out to me, but that's fine. That's it. It's no big deal. Like, if it comes into my head, I should
Yeah,
be able to reach out and not
Haley.
worry about it if they haven't. And that's not a reason to not do it. So we encourage people to
I
think.
think the beautiful thing of our group is everyone understands. Like, I always feel bad when you and I connect again, and I'm like, oh, we should connect more. You're like, yeah, we should, and we don't, because I know as much as I'm thinking about you, you're thinking about me. As much as I'm thinking about AJ, he's thinking about me, etc. And I think 2025 might be the year where everything just comes to this beautiful solar eclipse whereby all of us are in a position where we can chat more. And that
Yep,
would be a huge blessing. But if it's not, the beautiful thing is, I think I have no doubt that our friend group is going to continue to try to pursue that.
for sure. Totally agree.
I think AJ might have died.
Yep, technical difficulties for AJ, and
Well,
freezing.
he's out of our friend group anyway, so
Everything we just said, we retract, and hopefully you listen to the episode, AJ. Well, we can wrap it up there. This is meant to be short and sweet, but like Andrew said, stay tuned. Hopefully we'll get a lot of things going here in the near future. We were already joking about doing a Bros Guide to Valentine's Day coming up for our monthly edition in February, so that'll be good. But we'll catch everybody later.
cheers.
Cheers.